What is up, geeks and geekettes? It's a unique video by the Countdown to the Geekcast. My name is Steady. With me on this episode is the one and only Jericho. What's going on,
What's
man?
up, y'all? How's it going?
Fantastic. I'm excited because you and I have been talking about this on the show. I've been talking about doing this on our weekly live shows that you can watch on Facebook and YouTube every Monday night. And we've been talking about doing reviews on the Bad Batch episodes,
For
the
sure.
new Star Wars series on the Disney Plus streaming service. And we said, you know what? Our weekly live shows are just filled up already with
Hmm.
news updates. We're recapping the Loki series right now. We're tired of pushing this back, so let's just start doing videos on our own. Bad Batch,
Exactly.
you and
And nobody else
I
is watching it in the
doing
group,
it.
so you and I, we got this. We
They don't
got
know what they're
this.
missing out on, man. They
Yeah.
don't know what they're missing out on.
After they watch this, then they're gonna be like, "All right, let me go check it out."
Absolutely, and
Yeah.
we hope the rest of you guys out there are watching this, and that's why you're watching this video. So we're here to discuss every episode of the Bad Batch. This is going to be our first video. We're talking all about episode one, titled Aftermath, and this is quite interesting. And I'm not going to spoil anything for you because those folks who are watching this video who have seen Clone Wars all the way through the series finale that just aired like a year ago. This kind of takes place right towards the end of that final episode, and you know what I'm talking about. So Jericho is almost there. I'm not
Yeah.
going to spoil anything that happens, but he's you're pretty much aware. Like Clone Wars ends with
Yeah.
you know,
Order
Order
66. Yeah.
66 and all that, but no details beyond that. I'm not going to give that away. So, spoiler alert for the Bad Batch episode one. We start out with a grand entrance for Clone Force 99. These guys are fantastic. Uh, Hunter, Echo, Crosshair, Tech, and Wrecker all show up to Wreck
Record.
Shop, no pun intended. They serve as reinforcements for Blaba, as well as Caleb Dune, who I'm pretty sure you recognize this voice actor for Caleb, right?
Yeah.
Go for it,
Very
man.
cool.
Who is this?
So actually, I'm gonna tell you right now. Yeah, it's Freddie Prinze Jr. But so earlier when you and I were talking, when you were at the house, when you told me Caleb Doom, I honestly, I was thinking the redheaded kid from the video game.
Mm.
So I didn't know you were talking about Rebels because I actually haven't seen Rebels. Um,
Oh
that one I've
yeah.
been waiting on too.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay.
when you told me Caleb Doom, I was like, oh, cool. Yeah. Like I was thinking to myself that I think from what is it, Fallen Order, something like that. The most
Yeah.
recent Star Wars game from a few years ago. So
Yeah.
I was like, cool. All right. I didn't recognize him, but uh, turns out it's not. It's Caleb Doom, and he becomes what does he change his
Who
name to?
plays? Yeah,
Later.
he
Yeah.
changes his name to Kanan, who was this Jedi who's been like hiding forever, and he's been on the run his whole life. The Jedi are a myth at this point.
Right.
Nobody really thinks they're around anymore. And he, befriends Ezra, and the Rebels show, and the adventure goes on from there. We'll probably talk
Nice.
Rebels whenever you get caught up, so that way
As
we
soon
can
as I
start
finish
doing this
Clone
more
Wars,
often.
I'm jumping on Rebels. Heck yeah. Oh yeah.
Absolutely. So this was, oh yeah, it was just so fascinating that we get this almost an origin story for Kanan. I absolutely love it. And it's heartbreaking as well. So it's kind of like a happy moment. It's
Right.
bittersweet.
Yeah.
It's bittersweet because he sees his mentor fall, and they're attacked by the clones that they've been fighting with this whole time, and he's on the run. I'm glad, obviously, right? He makes it away because we know he
Right.
does. But it's still heartbreaking because there's so much emotion there, and he doesn't know who to trust.
Right.
And our team of heroes, well, I call them heroes, but they're whatever. Our crew, the Bad Batch, Clone
The
Force ninety
rebels,
nine.
basically. Yeah. At this
Yeah,
point.
and they have no idea what's going on. It's
Hmm.
just it's confusion, and it's just it's heartbreaking to see all this go down. Must have been crazy what you're watching. What were you thinking around this point?
I mean, it's awesome to see because of course we've seen the movies and everything. So in at the end of Revenge of the Sith, you see quick glimpses. Once they say execute Order 66, you see quick glimpses of battles. Quick little battles and Jedi's being killed. But for me, I guess I never thought about like in Caleb's case. There was Padawans, both young and even younger. As children like that. So.
Yeah,
Um,
Anakin got those.
Right. Yeah, I can take care of those. But yeah, so it was amazing to see. Sorry, I just realized my Remy put a pillow on top of the shelf here. Um, anyway, but to see that and yeah, that's emotional. To um, from I guess from like Caleb's point of view, this is your what do you call it, your master,
Yeah,
your mentor and everything, and now you have no idea why your friends are finally, are turning on you. These people you've been fighting alongside with for years, they're
yeah,
turning on you, and then yeah, like you said, we have the Bad Batch coming in, and they're confused. They have no idea what's going on. They're coming over here to help, and they see their own guys executing Jedi, and it's like why? Um, so their mission is now let's go save the kid. Let's go save the kid. But now, of course, there's also with Crosshair, he's like, no, let's kill the
Crosshair.
kid.
Jesus.
We're not
Yeah.
saving the kid. We're killing the kid. I don't care what you say. Um,
Good soldiers follow orders,
yeah,
Jericho.
exactly. At this point, though, yeah, it's just so like that basically set up for me. That set up how the series is going to be.
Yeah.
Like just that like you said, good soldier follows orders. So now they're just torn. They're like, do I go follow orders or do I need to figure out what's going on because I don't agree with this? So it's just insane, and that's just the first 5 minutes of the show, maybe. Like
it
a little
it
more than five.
takes
So
it takes
yeah,
off. And I'm gonna go back to Clone Wars briefly here. So the final episodes, what we got, this, they brought it back for the final few episodes. There were so many things that I'm not going to mention to you. There's so many callbacks to the movies, the prequels. There's
right,
so many moments that were interwoven into the Clone Wars series, and this it doesn't miss a beat. And I love it when they do this. I love it when they have all these callbacks. You know what's happening, but you're seeing it
right,
from another part of the galaxy. All these things play out. And so for Star Wars fans like us, it's just it adds more to the lore. You get to put more pieces together. There's going to be a lot of things in this episode that help add to the story
right.
of Revenge of the Sith, and I'll talk about a few of those things here in a minute. But we get somebody who we all know very well, Palpatine, who's now Emperor, right?
Hmm.
And he delivers his broadcast from episode 3. We're all very familiar with it. The Galactic Empire, which he calls it, and the Bad Batch, because, they've not been following orders like good soldiers. They're now put under a microscope. They're a concern for some people, especially Admiral Tarkin. You must have been ecstatic when he showed up, man.
It's pretty, yeah, it's badass. I mean, I that's what I loved about the Clone Wars series as well. Like I know I'm still watching it, but like you were saying, there's just so many callbacks and so many, if you want to say cameos or what, but it gives you a sense of kind of setting those layers, and setting that foundation for when they do show up in the movies
Yeah.
or at this point it's like, oh, this is what he or she was doing at this point during the movies when you didn't see him, during that scene or whatever. And it's just, I love it. It's just incredible. But yeah, it's
It's
really cool to see him.
It's so cool, and he plays such a great antagonist, and he's really the only thing that's getting in the way of the Bad Batch, right?
Right.
Because he wants to know, well, Can I trust them or not? So the first thing he does is put him through this training exercise, and they're like, "Oh, we got this. It's pretty simple and all
Hmm.
that." And then he switches the whole thing to live firing rounds, and Wrecker goes down because he gets hit immediately. He has no expectation that they're using live rounds, and so it's just
Right.
like, dude, this guy is. I mean, we all know Tarkin is cold, but this is
Right.
really cold. You know, he sees what they can do in battle, and yet he's willing to risk them because he's unsure if he can trust them at all. So yeah, cold dude Tarkin is, man.
For
If there was any
sure.
question, if there was any doubt, Tarkin is cold as ice.
Oh yeah. I mean, he looks it anyway. He looks like he's pretty much dead throughout, even in the movies too. Like he just always looks so, I don't know, just like decayed. So it kind of
Absolutely.
adds to that cold feeling that he kind of gives off there.
Yeah. And I love this team, even though they're being put through this treacherous, dangerous training exercise. They're training how well they know one another, just how they work together in these battle fighting situations.
Right.
It's fantastic. It's so strategic, but it's so clever. Reminds me a lot of the Ninja Turtles. You and I
Yeah.
love
Yeah.
the
Yeah. For
Ninja
sure.
Turtles, but they work so well together. They adapt. I mean, look, we kind of got kind of personalities of the Ninja Turtles already, right?
I
Hunter's a
was.
little bit
Yeah.
of a Leo. Tech is obviously a little bit of Donnie.
Yeah.
I guess we don't really have a Michelangelo unless Wrecker's a little bit of
Re-
Mikey,
Wrecker's like a
probably.
Mikey and Raph combination.
And I would say, yeah, Raph is probably a little bit of Crosshair, a little bit of Echo. Well,
Yeah.
Echo's not really. Echo's a reg, but he's still part of the group. But yeah,
Right.
Raph is, the attitude guy. So yeah, Crosshair definitely. So a lot of similarities between those two different
Right.
groups, but the one thing is they work well together. They all bring something to the table, and that's why they're just so damn interesting.
For sure, for sure. And real quick before we keep on, like, I just want to say, like, huge shout out to D. Bradley Baker. Like, I mean, I know he voiced the clones in the Clone Wars series, but just and he continues it here in the Bad Batch. Actually, when I first started watching it, the first episode, I didn't think it was him. I thought they got
Yeah,
different voice actors, which I thought, okay, that's cool. He did the whole clones and everything, and he had to do like thousands of clones voices. Um, but then when I looked it up, it said no, it's him, and
it's
and
really
it's
him.
funny because he's listed. It's not just listed as clones; he's listed as a Bad Batch. So I thought that's pretty cool that that he's labeled there. Um, but I mean, when you look at other voice actors and everything, they sometimes like just kind of change like their inflections a little bit, or the tone or tempo or whatever. But with him, he had to come up with like personalities for every single clone that he ever voiced, so that it was distinctly different from all the other clones. And like I just thought that was amazing. And so when I found out he was in this one, I was just like, that's another reason for me to love this show. And
Bravo.
oh man, but yeah, so great job, Mr. Baker.
Yeah,
Like he's somebody I actually would love to meet. Just to tell him that, like that's incredible.
he is the goat, man.
Yeah,
He is
for
awesome.
sure.
He killed it. We actually a lot of great voice actors in this one,
Oh yeah.
and of course they brought back the OG Matthew Wood for the battle droids. You can't have any battle droid voiceovers without the great Matthew Wood. So great to see him, who's also going to be at Celebrity Fan Fest.
He
We're
will, yeah.
talking about it on our weekly live show, and we announced him as well as Freddie Prince Jr., who's also
Hmm.
going to be at Celebrity Fan Fest in just a couple of months. So yeah,
Yeah.
very exciting. Where are we at? Admiral Tarkin, even though they got out of this training exercise with live rounds, he's still got a mission for him. He still doesn't trust them. He's gonna send them out, eliminate what he's calling separatists, not letting them know that they're actually Republic fighters who aren't on board with this whole galactic empire deal.
Right.
And we get another, uh, let's call it a cameo, I guess. Saul Guerrera is actually a part of this group, man. So like all these great callbacks to all these movies, it's just so smart to bring in these people from other Star Wars projects. It's great.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I thought that was really cool. I didn't expect him. to be there. And I think it was just, very, very cool to include him. And knowing that, I guess at this point, we would see him again in Rogue One, briefly, a brief cameo there. But yeah, so just knowing that, that's another reason I just love the show. Like, just so many characters that they can bring in, and it doesn't change the movies, because
Right.
those are already established. So they kind of have that wiggle room to play with, which what made the reason it made Rogue One such an amazing movie. But yeah, they're able to do this with Clone Wars, and now with the Bad Batch, without it affecting. They have plenty of room to write stories and everything without it affecting the actual movies, and make people question, like, well, no, that didn't make sense. But yeah, so it's just so cool to see these people. But yeah, Saw Gerrera, like that's pretty cool. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
it's great callback. A great opportunity to keep using characters from other Star Wars films, other Star Wars projects.
Yeah.
And let's see here. Obviously, the crew doesn't eliminate Saul. We know we're going to see him another time. To make things more difficult, Tech drops a bomb on everybody, saying that they're not the only ones like this. They're not slaves to their programming. Omega is actually just like the crew,
Right.
and they need to get her and find out, more about what's happening. But as soon as they get back to base, they're all imprisoned, thrown in a cage, but of course, with their wit, their intelligence, they're able to break out of their. The plan is to save Crosshair, but it's actually too late. Um, on Camino, they sort of enhance the programming that's going on in his head, and Crosshair's been turned. He's been turned full heel, and now he's basically going up against his brothers.
Yep.
So really sad to see, but him and Hunter had one last sort of face to face, and the look on Hunter's face when he just realizes, like, there's no saving him, there's
Hmm.
no going back. Again, it's heartbreaking. But the crew, after a brief skirmish with Crosshair and these other clones, the Bad Batch is able to get away with Omega, by the way, and they'll live to see it and fight another day. But from now on, the rest of the series, they're pretty much public enemy number one.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I think it's a perfect way to put it, because um it's like, they're Tarkin is just trying to create this perfect, uh you know well, they've had these perfect clones for many years now at
Yeah,
this point, and now, now that they turned them heel and all that, because of Order 66, it's like, wait, now we have this Bad Batch. We have a group of clones that we absolutely have to eliminate. Like, there's no way we can get them, let them get away with this and survive. I wonder at this point if Palpatine even knows that this is going on. Like, that's why Tarkin is trying so hard. He doesn't want to let it go up to Boss Man.
don't let the boss know. Don't let the
Yeah,
boss
exactly.
know.
So I don't know. I mean, but like you said, I mean, he's always been really cold. So it's possible let's just kill him. Let's just kill these guys. But at the same time, I think, yeah, it's one of those things where maybe he doesn't want Palpatine to find out that there's a little glitch in their little formula there.
Here you go. And something that I found really interesting towards the end of this episode is the Prime Minister of Camino is pretty much unaware of all of the plot
Hmm.
that was set by Palpatine, which, not to say that they were kind of in on it from the get go, from what we took away from the prequels, but just to find out they were completely in the dark, and now whatever deal, whatever contract they have with the former Republic is pretty much null and void,
Right.
according to Tarkin. It is, more revealing that they were just used. They were used
Yeah. Exactly.
for these soldiers. They were used for this war in order for Palpatine to take control. And now that they've served their purpose, he's trying to
Hmm.
wipe his hands of them and doesn't need them anymore. So quite interesting that I keep saying it. I talk about the prequels. I praise the prequels because when you look at the scheme that the Emperor put together between
Oh my
episodes
God,
one
yeah.
through three, it's so complex. There's so many moving pieces, but it was flawless. It kind of worked out perfectly. And this is just another one of those things, another one of the piece of the entire puzzle. The Kaminoans, they served their purpose, and they were completely in the dark about what the end game was for the Emperor and to form
Right.
this new galactic empire.
Right. Yeah, that has to be like the worst feeling. Like, I mean, they had been working with him for such a long time, and they were under the impression that we're creating this army to help the Republic
To
fight. And
help the Jedi,
exactly,
they were
yeah,
ordered by they were under the assumption they were ordered by a Jedi.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. And then now, I mean, it's like they pulled the rug from under them. It's like everything just completely turned upside down for them, and I'm curious to see where they're going to go from here. Because we never hear from them in the rest of the movies. The other the original trilogy, or whatever. But
right.
um, so I wonder if they just kind of fall off a little bit, or did something happen to them directly to where they end up getting killed? Like, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they destroy the entire planet somehow, or at least everybody on it, go around killing. But um, God, that just has to suck. That just has to be the worst thing.
Yeah. So, this is the first episode of the Bad Batch. What were your overall thoughts? Did it sort of surpass your expectations? Were you expecting something different? Where did it sort of fall for you on that scale?
So honestly, I didn't pay attention to the news about the show. So like when it was first announced and everything, I just knew it was a Star Wars show,
Yeah,
and the name. So I honestly had no idea what it was even about. So that's why I think got me even more excited when I'm watching this and you just see execute Order 66. And I mean, we can talk about it again, but like everything that happened on there, I was just like getting more and more excited about, getting more and more invested in the show. So like I said earlier, I think it's setting the bar for the way the season is going to go. Hopefully, we get more and more after this. I don't know how far it's going to go, but at least for this season, like I think they just have so much that they can do. And I mean, we've already seen at this point, as of this recording, I think 7 episodes now. So there's just a lot going on. And but for this episode, I mean, episode one, like it's incredible. It's going to be fun. It was a fun episode. You got a little taste of their personalities, for the guys. So and Omega. So I'm just kind of curious, like where it's going to go from here.
absolutely. There's so much potential, and if it's anything like the first episode, there's a lot of great surprises in store for the remainder of the season. It's a long season, right? It's
Right.
I think around 16 episodes is what
Mm-hmm.
they're
Yeah.
putting out there for what we can expect. So this is it, man. You and me are in it for the long ride here.
That's
We're going to
right.
be talking Bad Batch every week. We're going to be dropping a new episode, talking and recapping the events of each of the Bad Batch episodes. So be sure to like, subscribe, come back every single week. Let us know what your thoughts are about the episodes, what your theories are, right? Going forward, we want to hear from
Right.
you guys, the followers, the fans. Let us know what you think, and that'll do it. So we'll catch you guys next time. We'll be back to talk episode 2 of the Bad Batch, and we're excited to see what's in store for this series. This surpassed my expectations completely. I didn't have any really expectations going in, but I knew that the Bad Batch episode that was on the Clone Wars, absolutely loved it. But this has already surpassed all those expectations of what we got from that episode or those few episodes back on the Clone Wars. So
Right.
I'm excited. I can't wait. There's so much more in store. A lot of content left for this series, and we're gonna talk about it, man. You ready?
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm ready, man. Let's do this.
Awesome. All right. We'll see you guys next time. To Countdown to Geekcast, my name is Steady. With me to talk all about Bad Batch Episode 1, The Aftermath, was the one and only Jericho.
Later, y'all.
Peace. We'll see you next time.
Hey guys, AJ and Ivan here. For more Geekcast episodes, subscribe to us on your podcast app and please write us a review. Be sure to like us at Facebook at facebook.com/CountdownCityGeekcast. Follow us on Twitter at ccg_podcast or visit our website at www.countdowncitygeekcast.com. See you later, guys.